Recently I made a video about the new Nintendo Switch 2, about the things that I like about it. And in today's video, let's go over the things that I don't like about the new Nintendo Switch 2. If throughout this video you find anything that I missed out, that you've seen that you don't like about the new device, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm really curious what you guys think about it, what you guys like and dislike about it. First off is gonna be the ergonomics. It is pretty much a flat device, so there is not much in terms of ergonomics. If you hold it like this, it is a flat device on the back, just no where to put your fingers. It is much more comfortable than the Nintendo Switch 1 and the Switch OLED, thanks to its bigger size, bigger Joy-Cons. Still a device that is flat on the back with no grips whatsoever. Yes, you can get a third-party grip, but other than that, just a device as it is, it's just not ergonomic. And the one thing that I still don't like is the right analog stick, because it's a little bit lower. I know why it's made like this, because if you take one of them like this, you have to have it on the side and you can't have it on the top. You always have to have the same buttons on your right and on your left. So the analog is always on your left and the buttons on the right if we put it like this. So because of that, you really can't have it differently. It's just not comfortable in handheld experience, especially if you want to play something like Fortnite. With the sticks that are just not as accurate, and now having the stick much lower so it's a little bit under your finger, it's really hard to, aim with it, making this a much harder experience. For more casual games and casual gamers, this is not going to be a problem, but I just wish it was a little bit more ergonomic in that department, so this being a little bit higher and just having some kind of a grip on it. I know this can be fixed with a third-party grip, which I'm probably going to get for the Nintendo Switch 2, but other than that, I just feel like it's not as ergonomic as I wish it could be. And I know why it's made like this. It's made to be dockable, it's made to be, put on a stand. It's just made for the specific way it's going to be used, but I just wish for handheld gaming especially, it was a little bit more ergonomic. One thing that is starting to be slowly changing is the no new games. Essentially, for most part, we really got just the Mario Kart World at launch. We also got the Cyberpunk, but Cyberpunk is a game that many of you probably played on different devices. And from other than that, we only got the upgrades to already existing games. If you're someone that played all the first-party IPs, like the Zelda Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, or Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, those games are gonna be cool that they're now upgraded, but it's not gonna be a new experience for you. So if you're looking for the newer games, we only really got the Mario Kart World, and recently we got the Donkey Kong Bonanza, which has been really a hit success for Nintendo. It did feel, especially at launch, that there's just no new games. So it really is going to be dependent if you played the other games or not. If you did not play them, it's a perfect opportunity to play them at better settings, better quality, and just the ultimate experience for them. But if you did play all of the other games, if you're a really die-hard Nintendo fan, then, well, you can revisit the games, but other than that, we really didn't get too much of a new experiences. One way you can save up on games, subscriptions, and game upgrades is Instant Gaming. I actually got my Nintendo Switch Online subscription from Instant Gaming. And not only that, I was able to find many great games for my Steam Deck OLED at just $1 or $2. For example, I get the whole Batman Arkham trilogy for just a couple of dollars. You can find many great deals on Instant Gaming. Also, if you're interested, we're doing a giveaway where one of you can win a game of your choice. If you want to enter this month's giveaway, check out the link down below. Many of the games that are multi-platform are going to be more expensive on the Nintendo when compared to something like the PS5, Xbox Series X, or PC. It is just the most expensive out of all the different consoles. Usually the games that are multi-platform are going to be more expensive on here, especially if they're released later, because they're released as a new title. And usually the games on Nintendo don't seem to fall in terms of their price. When I'm comparing it to something like the Steam Deck OLED, where you can find amazing sales on the Steam store, or something like Instant Gaming, where I was able to get games for even $1, that makes it really hard to justify the games on the Nintendo Switch 2. Especially, for example, we have the new Cyberpunk, which is great on the Nintendo Switch 2, but you're gonna pay a lot more than getting it on a Steam Deck or PS5 or Xbox Series X. So if you have that way to play on other consoles, it might be a better solution than on the handheld. At least you can get the Cyberpunk in physical and sell it back down the line if you complete it or just don't want it anymore. But other than that, the games do tend to be much more expensive on the Nintendo Switch 2. Another thing that I kind of dislike is the power of it. And don't get me wrong, it's a really powerful device and I feel like it's really good and runs games great. I just feel like it is not amazing for future-proofing. And what I mean by that is, this is a good device now, but how is it going to be down the line? With all the different handhelds already being stronger than this, What happens down 3 years from now? What happens 4 years from now? It's gonna be the same kind of a situation we had with Nintendo Switch 1, where for many it was still fine, but we did kind of hit the cap of how far we can push the games on a device. And I feel like at this moment it runs amazing, the optimization is good, but how is it gonna be down the line? So for future proofing, I'm kind of skeptical. It is amazing, it is cool, it works great, the games run great, but how is it gonna be down the line? Thing I like because it's much more powerful and it seems to be more future-proof than the Nintendo Switch 1, because if we can hit full HD and 60 frames per second on Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, I'm sure they can make new games that are going to be somewhat similar in terms of performance. We just have much more performance out of this right now. But it also means that it's not the breakthrough that we could have had in 2025, meaning that it will be much stronger, making it just more future-proof. So this is kind of the thing that I like and dislike at the same time. And last but not least is something that I also like and dislike, which is this screen. It is a full HD screen with up to 120 Hz, meaning you can play games at up to 120 frames per second. But the problem is, this is an IPS panel, and I wish it was an OLED. Yes, an OLED is always gonna look just better in terms of color rendition and the color contrast, and the blacks are just much better on an OLED when compared to the LCD. By no means this is a bad LCD. This is actually a really good LCD, looks really good, just seems to be a nice upgrade, but I do wish it was an OLED, and we know where this is going. There is gonna be an OLED model down the line. But with that being said, I do wish it was an OLED. I just wish they started off with an OLED. And even though it is up to 120 frames per second, it pretty much has no games that run in 120 Hz. If I'm not wrong, maybe just the Welcome Tour runs at 120 Hz. Other than that, we don't really have any games that really can push it to that regard. So it is nice that we have it, I just wish more games were able to actually utilize it. With that being said, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think is something that you dislike about the new Nintendo Switch 2? With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video once again, and I'll see you next time.